everyone, and welcome to another episode of Courageous Exchanges. I'm Alex.
And I am Joi.
How are you doing today? I'm doing okay.
Okay.
It's a little bit different recording time than we usually do because it's like early.
Okay.
Right? But I'm feeling good. I'm glad we got up and got to it.
Yeah.
Today. But yeah, I'm feeling great.
Great.
Fresh and ready to go. How about you?
I'm feeling pretty good. It was a rough week, and so I feel good to feel good.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about being here. I'm excited about being with you. So let's get to the things. I was gonna say the shits, but
I mean, or the shits. Either one. So I know that we have been talking quite a bit about motherhood. Well, we started out talking about babies. Then we realized that actually our conversations are more so around motherhood. And I feel like now more than ever, like we're hearing so many different opinions and conversations that relate to motherhood. And at this point in life, we've come to realize that this is another topic that we have very different opinions about.
We do. I do not want children at all. Fuck them kids. There are, and we'll go into why. And then maybe few caveats that will make me change my mind. But I used to really feel like if I don't have a child, that I don't have a purpose. And now that I know that it's not true, I can also have a legacy, I can have all of these things. The reasons of why I don't want children are way higher than the reasons that I would want them.
And we're on different sides of the fence here because I very much want to have children at this phase in my life. And I think that a lot of it comes from a lot of different reasons, right? Being in a loving, committed relationship is definitely super important. And I think is a big reason why I feel ready for that. I'm also, I think you could say, a lifelong educator, right? Like all of my jobs have always been related to children. Yeah. Every single job I've had since the age of 15 has been taking care of people's children. And so I'm at a point in my life now where, a few years ago I started to realize, like, damn, I spent my whole life taking care of other people's kids. Like, I want to now be able to really lean into and devote my time to taking care of my own children. Yeah. And then also there's something exciting about adding to the family. My sister has a daughter and she is the center of my heart and I worry about her as if she's my own. And, there's something very beautiful about growing a family and keeping that going. So, yeah, it's an exciting time. Yeah.
Did you always want to be a mother?
I did. I think that my reasons changed as I got older. I think that at this point in my life, I have a much more realistic vision of what motherhood is going to be like. Yeah.
A realistic vision is real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that when I was younger, I romanticized the idea of motherhood. Like, ooh, walking around with a cute little baby. Yeah. But like now, it's a much more like realistic conversation and like process to becoming a mother and thinking about like whether or not I'm ready to do that physically, financially, mentally. There's just so much work that goes into that process, and I'm excited about it because it's, again, another sign of growth.
Yeah. But I feel like I romanticized having being a mother before, and I used to always say I feel like I have a very 16-year-old way of thinking about being a parent. Of like, it's gonna be a thing that loves me. It's gonna be not a thing. A person. So detached. It's gonna be a person that's gonna love me. It's gonna be a person that's gonna like be like a little me. They'll be smart. They'll and then I'm in the place now of, if the fantasy doesn't come true, will I be disappointed? And I don't know that risk is worth it for me. And again, there are several other reasons of why I don't think I want to be a parent, or I know I don't want to be a parent now. But having that realistic conversation with myself was like, I think you want a baby. I don't really want a 7-year-old.
Wow. Now, I don't know if I want a 14-year-old.
When I told you the child turns 14, they come with me. I like teenagers.
I do not. I like the adolescents. As an educator, my least favorite grades to, work with were always, once they get to it started out when it was high school. I didn't like high school, but now it's time to change. Once they get to 7th grade, I don't really want to be bothered.
I used to always say, I don't really like 7 to 13-year-olds.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I obviously met children in professional studies at work, and my friends' kids, that I'm like, okay, all 9-year-olds aren't asking.
Yeah. Look, some of them.
What is this, the one in your house? I don't know. I really would want my child to be newborn to maybe 2, because some of them 3-year-olds.
My niece is 3.
3-year-olds be a lot.
They change. And it's funny because you always hear about terrible 2s.
Yeah.
I see a bigger leap at 3.
It's the 3 names.
Mm-hmm.
So 3 to 12, 13.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So then my kid is gonna go to what? Boarding school, and I have a lot of clients and people I know who to boarding school, and they don't have good stories about them. So I don't really want my kid to go to boarding school. So I would have to be responsible for them for those 10 years where I might not like them.
And I have to say that, thank God, my partner is so much more patient than I am.
That's important.
Yeah. I feel like he would be better equipped to deal with a teenager than I am, because I am a Haitian lady. Period. So I'm not going to be doing too much of the bullshit, disrespect, and all of that. That's where I get concerned, because I know the spirit of my ancestors will come out. And I don't know how I'm going to handle that.
You gonna start speaking Creole to the movie?
Shit. Whatever works. Because where I come from, we don't do disrespect.
Okay.
And I'm not going to be breaking my back to take care of you and make sure you have everything and then some. And then you're going to disrespect me when you turn.
And that's why I don't want to do it.
I don't give a damn what them kids at the school said. All right, you know what? Let me relax. Because it's starting. See how I get with
baby is not even here. I know. Friends say, whoa. First,
I will beat your ass at school.
You can't do that.
In front of your class.
You're going to jail.
That's what my parents used to say to me. When I used to get in trouble for talking too much at school,
yes,
my dad would say, I'm going to come and give you a spanking in front of the whole class.
My cousin used to do that to her kids. Mm-hmm. My mom probably only didn't do it because child abuse is
we do not condone child abuse. We're just joking.
Yes. But I've also met children that have been like, I see why.
Somebody would have went upside your head one time.
But I feel like children are so different than how we were raised. My mom did spank me. I used to beat you. Somebody was like, I'm going to beat you. And I'm like, you're dragging it.
And also, sometimes you needed it.
I don't think so.
You don't think you needed a good slap sometimes?
No, I think I got hit because I talk too much or I ask questions. And I think those are the things that we encourage children to do now.
Yes, that's true.
And that I'm like, I was beat for talking. Now I'm a fucking therapist in a podcast. So yeah.
I think that my dad did not hit me. Really. My dad didn't. But my dad would tell me, and just for clarification, I mainly lived with my dad and my mom, which is my stepmom. So, but we don't use stepmom. He would tell me to put my hands out when I would get in trouble at school for talking too much down at the Catholic school. He would tell me to put my hands out, and this would be his punishment. It would be like 2 slaps on the hand.
2 little pow-pows.
2 little pow-pows. And I was big. I was like 11. Little pow-pows. But I knew he hated doing it. That's the funny thing about it. I knew every time he had to give the pow-pow on my hand, and I'd be like, and I'd look at him, Because I was fresh. I was like, because I knew he didn't like doing it, so like I would play it up a little bit and be like, "Oh my God, Dad, it hurts," and he'd be like, "I know, I'm sorry," because you got to get punished.
See, again, I feel like my mother used to do, because I fucking boo-boo cry. And my mother would do that. He was dragging it. He was dragging. Sometimes it hurt. But that's the point that I'd be like, I wouldn't cry, and she would get mad because I wasn't crying. Parents are bullies. But she would be like, it hurts me more than it hurts you. But you don't have to do it. I think that, and I used to be a person that very much was like, I have children, I'm going to do them. Because I was hit and I'm fine. But like, hitting doesn't teach anything. It teaches fear and how to speak.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
I think there's a difference. Again, we differ on this. I think that there's a difference between disciplining your child,
yes, which doesn't have to be
using them. It doesn't have to be physical. And like, of course, like right now, I think about my niece. I couldn't imagine her ever getting even a pow-pow. Never. However, when they turn 11, 12, 13, and they try you,
you take the door off the hinges.
What they do? What is it?
And all of their devices.
What if it's not about that? What if it's like they are disrespecting you when you tell them to go ahead and pick up their shoes, or
they don't have shoes?
Let me tell you something. Also, that's his way.
Okay, you get one pair of shoes.
Listen, the way I work in my house, okay, you will not disrespect me. And I feel like this is going to be, if I tell you to do something, also because I also don't believe in talking crazy to children, because I do think that you're constantly modeling effective communication and respect and love and kindness to children.
I hate seeing an adult curse a child out.
Like, that makes the hairs on my back like stand up. So I'm very big on like really modeling appropriate communication with a child. However, as a former school leader, I have seen many parents come into my office and beg for help. They've tried everything with their 7th grader, 8th grader, 9th grader, and nothing's worked. They've taken the door off the hinges. They've taken their game devices. They've sent them, to Haiti or wherever, to try to get the kids to teach them a lesson. And the kid just has no fucking respect for their parent and the way that they work in to take care of them. The Haitian lady in me won't let that happen.
But I think that starts before the 7th grade.
It does. But as kids turn into adolescents,
and they're more influenced by their peers, I know,
you might have to resort to other ways of getting them, just to let them know, like, don't try me.
But I also, I hear you. I don't think it has to be physical, though.
Well, then, all right, when mine turn 12, 13 and start acting a damn fool, they're going to come and live with you. And let's see how long.
Okay. And I'm going to get down to their level.
And when you go and get down to your level, right in your nose.
And I'm going to be like, we don't wait in this house. This is a non-hitting house. And I don't think you're really meant to hit Auntie Joy.
And knowing my kid, that kid probably going to be like, yes, the fuck I did. 12 years old, 13, 14. That's why I don't want kids. Because you don't know what those kids do.
I feel like you can't predict what's going to happen.
You know what? I shouldn't claim any of this.
Your child's not going to do that. I think you know enough about child development.
Yes.
That you put things in place that at 12 years old, 12-year-olds are going to be 12-year-olds. So they might say and do things that feel disrespectful, feel like an attack. They're going to challenge you and push buttons. But I think how you respond and react to it, how the people around them respond and react to everything, I think that all plays a role in how much of an asshole. Now, there are kids who are wonderful, and then they grow up, and then they're like not wonderful adults, but they're not wonderful like older adolescents.
I think all in all,
again, it's too big of a risk. I don't want to take it.
That's the thing. It's a risk you take. It's a risk that you take when you take on motherhood, parenthood, you know, and I think that I was watching something recently and the woman was talking about motherhood and she was saying how it's such a courageous act.
It's super courageous.
Because people think that having a child, your job is to teach the child. But actually, parenthood / motherhood teaches you so much about yourself. It forces you to have a level of patience, reflection, intentionality that you have to really be like clear about and like be willing to do that work. So it's such a courageous act to actually take that.
So a lot of the conversations that we talk about is about doing the work, and I think that's what's so important, and that what makes you a better person, again, for yourself, for your partner, for your children.
It's true, but I think that, and I also think that now that like people are starting to have kids like later on in life, it gives you so much more time to do the work.
I agree.
Whereas I feel like, you know, years ago when our parents were having kids, it wasn't so intentional. It wasn't like so planned out, I think. I don't know, but I don't think it was. I had older parents. Oh, okay. My parents were pretty young. Yeah. I think especially like when I talk to other people about like their parents' age, my parents typically come in like many years younger. Yeah.
I had the old parents in school.
Really? Yeah. So do you think that like affected the way that they parented you? Like, do you think they were more patient or less patient?
They were not more or less. They were not more patient for sure.
Okay.
Less patient. I grew up in if an adult says you did something, you did it. And I hated that because I don't think all my teachers are being honest. But I always got in trouble because a teacher said something.
But Joy, you was getting in a lot of trouble. You was doing a lot of stuff.
I just talked in class. If I finish my work and I look at you and I say, hey, if you start having a conversation with me, that's on you. That's not on me.
All right.
But you made a point about being older, doing it. Do you feel like being an older? I hate I know. But like being 40 versus being 20, do you feel like it's like knowing more? I feel like there's knowing more. Like you need community. You need to like you said earlier, take care of your health. Like what other kind of things do you feel like are important for you? And thinking about and looking at this journey.
Yeah. I think that I've been a lot more intentional about thinking about like the things that I definitely want to keep from my childhood and the way that I was raised and what my experiences were as a child. Yeah. And then I've also been thinking about like what are the things that I don't want to replicate in, you know, my child rearing times. I think it's also, I think being older has also put me in a place of like, I feel so much more prepared now. Which I think is dope because, like, I don't know, like, what this would have been like 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know that. I mean, I think that obviously I have a lot of support. Like, it would, you know, I would rise to the occasion, but I don't know that I would be able to celebrate it and relish it. Yeah. And the preparation for it and all of that. Like, I don't know that I would have that experience all those years ago because I was in such a different place in my life back then. So, I mean, I'm all for waiting because I think that you get better as you get older. If that's your journey, you should. But I think that's like a personal journey that you need to be on. But yeah, I think definitely. I always say this, like, if I can raise a child or children in many ways the way that my parents raised me and give them the things that my parents gave me, then I would be very, very proud of the work that I've done because I don't know how my parents did it. But that's also a lot of pressure. Yeah. Because I feel like I have to do more than what my parents did. And I feel like my parents did a lot with like probably less resources.
What does more look like? What do you mean by more though?
I feel, see, that's a great question because I think that for me right now, because like finances are such a big part of raising a child, especially in New York City, like like that's a big part of it. It's like really so much of the preparation is like this is life changing. Like, and it's not like, oh, I'm just gonna sit with you and nurture you and give you hugs. Like, it's like, no, we live in New York City. I gotta make sure that you live in the right, place, go to the right school, have the right doctor, have the right extracurriculars, the right friends, the right community, all of those things. And of course, like I grew up in New York, but not in New York City. And so during that time, things were different. I also feel like as you get older, those who know better do better. So there are certain things that, my parents did with me that I probably wouldn't do for my kids, right? Yeah. Like I've had a lot of conversation with you about like childcare. Yeah. My worst nightmare is dropping my child off somewhere for childcare because I'm an educator and I see a lot. I've run schools where I, have taken in kids who were 2 years old. Yeah. And all people in education are not great people. They're not. And like their mindsets and ways that they look at children, and that scares me. Yeah, that's real. Again, these are the things that make me go, no, because my community looks different than your community. Both of my parents have passed away. I have family members that I'm close with, but I don't think any of them would give up their lives to come and help me out. So I am relying on childcare. I am relying, and I'm like, I think, and I know I'm thinking about this in like a single parent way, because I don't know what my partner would have. But I also want to partner with a dead mom. So I got nothing. I do. I don't. But that's a story for another time. If we know, you know. If we don't know, we'll talk about it someday. But so like, our supports might not look the same. So we're relying heavily on our outside community, because I'm like my friends will be like, well, when you want to go out, I'll babysit. Well, I think I want to go with you. So how you gonna babysit when we're trying to be outside together? So yeah, I think about that. What the community looks like. I think about the finances. I think sometimes for me, like when finances get tight, and I'm like, I feel stressed out. I couldn't imagine having to feed another person. I couldn't imagine like someone coming to me and be like, I need shoe, and I'm just like, I need money for a field trip. And like that might be an easier fix. I think my thought is, if I don't have a foundation to leave for my child, I don't want them to ever struggle. Yeah. And so I'm like, if I ain't ready to do it, I don't want to do it. If it's not perfect, I don't want to do it. Because I don't want my kid to ever struggle and suffer. Because the times that I've like been like, oh, life is really fucking hard and I don't want to do it, I never want them to have to experience that. I think that's real. I think that you're putting a lot on it. But I think it's a big decision, and this is me being honest with myself. It is. I don't want my kids to be like, my mother didn't do all of the things. I think that's you're being hard on yourself, and you're kind of like looking at it as if you're questioning how you would show up as a mom. And I think that's so interesting because you're such a loving and nurturing person in life. So thoughtful, you don't forget things, like you follow up like with your friends and the people that you love so much. With you. I'm sure there are people who might disagree. I mean, I just think that if you made that decision, I have no doubt that you would excel. I don't think I'd be a terrible parent. Yeah. Also, you're not going to beat your kids, so it's lit. If you were to have them. I really think I just worry about
and maybe this is like my own stuff. I mean, I know that this is my own stuff, but like, I was a caregiver. I don't want my kids to ever have to like do that because I hated it.
But who's to say that will be your story?
I know, but I don't know what it's gonna be. I also like, and this might sound fucked up to a lot of people. I fear if my child has some type of disability, and I don't feel equipped to handle it, and if my partner does it, and like that could cause a shift with us, and then we're doing these things alone. Like it's like if I knew all that it could be, maybe. But I think because there's so many variables and so many things that can happen, I'm scared.
Mm-hmm. That's real.
I'm scared, and I'm like,
and I'm not gonna lie and say that those things don't come up in my mind either. But when that comes up, two things I say to myself is, what if it all works out?
And I would hope and pray that it all works out.
What if it all works out? And number two, why would I claim that? I'm not claiming that. If that's what it is, then fine. But like, I'm not claiming that.
I don't know that anybody claims my child's going to be a serial killer, but there are serial killers. I just don't want mine to be that one.
I think that's real, and I think a lot of people feel that.
But you know what I mean? It's a lot. For me, it's really like community. Like, I have a wonderful community, but no one. I don't want anybody. I wouldn't expect anybody to take out of their life to be a caregiver. The mental health aspect of it, I'm pretty sure I will be postpartum because I have depression or I am depressed, whatever, however you want to call it. I just imagine that it'll get worse. I'm sure my anxiety will also raise because now you are like hyper aware of another person. The finances of it all. And because I can't control it.
Yeah. Because you can't control it. I think that's a lot of what it boils down to.
Yeah.
Is that you can't control it. And I will say that I have many of those feelings too. It's like, the what ifs are real, right? Especially like choosing to do it later in life and all of that. Like, the what ifs are very, very real. But like, I think that what you're speaking to is the fact that it's such a vulnerable position to be in because you have no control. And guess what? All of that stuff can go fine. The kid is healthy. They come out. They're great. They go to college. But my mom and I talk about this all the time. Your kid has the ability to break your heart the most. And in so many ways. And that's also something that's so scary. Again, and about taking this on is that you can give your all to this kid. You don't spank them. You send them to the best school. You feed them the best meals. You give them the best opportunities. And they can turn.
I was a I hate you kid. I told my parents I hated them before. I've called my mom a bitch under my breath one time and she heard me. Like, so and she would say, and you know what, I think it's because Beverly put it on me. She'd be like, I can't wait for you to have a child and they're going to treat you like you treat us. No! Because you're not going to have it. Like they would do stuff or they would say stuff. And like, can I give you real examples of why I said I hated them? Probably because I didn't get my way. Mm-hmm. And I said, I hate you. Mm-hmm. I'm going to run away. I would be heartbroken. Like, if I do all the things that you're like, I hate you, I don't want to be there.
Yeah. And you see, and I think it's so interesting that you did that.
I did.
Because as a Haitian kid, I would see shit like that on TV. And I'll be like, oh, imagine if I said that to my mom or to my dad.
One time I like cleared out, I knocked all this shit over. My father said, oh, you think you the white kids on TV? See? Or you think you the white kids on TV? Break all that shit up, it's yours. Actually, no. My mother used to tell me you could pack up and leave with everything you paid for.
Good for her.
Which was nothing. Exactly. I just don't want to deal with that shit. I don't want to deal with it. Like, I ain't going. No, like, I just like, and I know there are other, like, I think you have to be so careful when you are talking to children, when you are interacting with children, because they pick up this most subtle shit that you're not even thinking about that it could have an impact. And I just don't want to do it. I don't want it. And like other people's kids, cool.
And I think that's so interesting because for me, growing up, like I wasn't an angel. But I was like way more spicy when I got to high school. Like I just wanted to be like active, out, independent, partying, drinking, all the things that like were fun. Like that's what I wanted to be doing. And I feel like that's when I gave my parents the hardest time. And I think that's also why I say that's the age that scares me the most. It's funny, I wasn't disrespectful.
I'm like thinking, I thought it was the easiest as a teenager. I just was like really angry because my mom was sick. So I talked back.
Yeah. I did not, like I would talk back, but my talking back was more so like, well, I want to go out, and you guys are going out anyway. Why do I have to watch my sister?
I don't see.
Or like, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna take my sister with me because there's gonna be my other friends watching her sister too.
You go over the birds.
Yeah. And like, why can't I? You know, it's my car. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, and it's fine. It's never been an issue before. And then I get into a car accident. If you ever like get a chance to talk to my dad, he will tell you. I used to get into like the stupidest car accidents, or I remember one time I used to drive my dad crazy. Like one time I was in high school and we were going to Six Flags trail, and so I had been arguing with my dad for days. Like I'm going to Six Flags, and like everybody else is going, and you can't tell me. And I'm gonna use my allowance, and I'm going. And then he was like, I guess he had like given up. He was like, all right, she's going to Six Flags. So like on his way to work, he goes out and checks my car. Because one of the biggest things I used to get in trouble for as a teenager was like not taking care of my car. Okay. I was supposed to get the gas, take care of like the oil changes and all that. So he goes out to my car and I have 2 flats. And I'm getting ready to go to Six Flags. So then, my poor dad, like, I was hard, you know, and my mom, like, kind of just, like, played in the background, but, like, my dad was really the one that had, like, when I got to be a teen, he had to discipline me. Okay. And so here he is on his way to work, pumping my tires so I could go to Six Flags. And I will say, I'm sitting there, as a teen, I was able to look and say, I'm really an asshole sometimes. Like, I knew that I was being a pain in the ass. Yeah. And I was like, he gotta go to work, he gotta give me the allowance, and he gotta pump my tires up so I can go to Six Flags. Who the hell do I think I am?
He was the boss.
I was a pain in the ass.
But I think that's part of adolescence. Yeah. Like, you don't fear anything. No. You do make all the rules. You are an asshole. You're very self-centered.
You're fearless when you're an adolescent. And I think your brain isn't fucking developed. And also, and I feel like that's what's so scary about it, especially having grown up in the burbs. Yeah. Where I knew like, kids in my class died. All the time. Whether it's car accidents, drag racing, drugs, guns, all that.
And when you get to a certain place in life, if you're able to provide it, you want your kids to learn in a different environment where they do have more access. Yeah. A city kid, like, there were people who did drugs with you. You didn't hang out with them?
Yes.
And they're like a crack.
Exactly. And I feel like that's an argument that I have so often with people who grew up in the city versus growing up in the burbs is that nothing. Like, I think that growing up in the burbs, I had access to everything. Like, it was normal. At 15, you start driving. Yeah. Your parents'
little cousin got her license the day after her 16th birthday. She drives to school now.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
yeah, I drove to school when I was in high school.
By the way, I can't imagine.
Yeah. You have time and space. You have your houses are empty during the day. Your parents are at work. You have alcohol in those houses. You could go get alcohol at the store with no problem usually, or somebody has it. Again, the cars were such a big thing because so many people died. Like, in my class, I can remember being like a junior or senior in high school, people would just die from like racing or whatever. And I'm just like, damn, like, and those are the things. And I remember my dad used to always tell me, like, every time you go out, I just wait for you to come home. Until you walk in the door. He said, you'll never understand. And he was like, the only thing that I used to say to me about you is I knew you have a strong personality. And I know you like to have fun, but there's certain things you're not. He knew I wasn't doing drugs. He knew that, like, there were certain things. I wasn't stupid, but I want to be lit. Like, I want to be out. So the thing that I didn't worry so much about with you was the fact that I know you have character. I know that there's certain things you're not going to do, but I worry about the people around you. And so... Because you can't control your kids' friends all the time. Yes.
Well, go on and have my little mix and that. I enjoy it. But I would consider having a child. If I met a partner who wants to be a primary parent. Because I always think that there's a primary parent and a secondary parent. And I don't want to be the primary one. I want to be a lit mom. Like, you know how dads are like the fun ones and they're like, get you ice cream and your mom is like, eat broccoli. I want to be the one that's getting ice cream.
You want to be the ice cream parent?
Yeah, I don't. I'm like, what? Oh, we got to go to school tonight? Cool. I don't want to be. I think, and I don't know if it's because I was a caregiver, but I don't know if it's because I'm just in this very selfish era of my life. But I don't want to have to be fully responsible for somebody else. I just don't. If I have a partner, if I meet someone and they're like, I really want a child, and I'll go to the PTA meeting. And I'm not saying I'm not going to these things. I know I'm being like, y'all thought I was going to be a bad mom. So, mom and motherfucking years. But I think I need to know I am supported. And it's all the things that I'm afraid of. My mental health gets in a bad place if if all my friends and family can't help out, I know that this person can. And then I'll be like, you know what? It's worth it all. Yeah.
I think that's real. And you know what, though? I appreciate the fact that you say, like, I don't want to be the primary person. I don't want this to be, like, my sole responsibility. I think that a lot of people probably feel that way and feel obligated because of societal pressures, gender roles, etc., to say, you know, and they're just thrown into these roles.
I hate seeing anybody. I feel like most of the time it's the mom, but I just hate, like, you just out here going hard, breaking your back, and somebody is like, la da 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 da, la da da da. They don't know what's going on. They don't know nothing about nothing. I don't want that.
No.
Same way I said I don't want to clean up after you. I don't want to be the only one cleaning up after this. I don't want to be the only one involved in school. So if it's not going to be, like, shared.
I feel you. And I agree with that. I think that, again, especially because I grew up, like, my father, I grew up mostly in my father's home. And, like, to me, I don't believe in, you know, gender roles when it comes to childbearing. I think that, for me, my ideal would be that, like, my partner and I get to a place where it might be a tag team. It might be like, you know what? I can't do it today. You won't have to tap in and deal with this issue. And I really, and that would be my vision. And I love seeing families that take that route. I think that we both have friends now with children, and it's so beautiful to see fathers, you know, leaning into fatherhood and being active parents. I just love seeing that, and it warms my heart because I grew up that way. You know, I grew up with a very active father, and sometimes it felt weird, right? Because, like, in traditional roles, they'd be like, what's up with that? But, like, that's the way that I grew up, and I wouldn't have it any other way, you know?
My dad was around, but he was the secondary parent for him. He would show up to certain things. Like, I played basketball in 7th or 8th grade. My dad never came to a game. But it was really like, you got to play basketball, but you've never seen me play. My mom would cut the games if she could. This man, like, touched me one time on the bus on my way to school. My mom, for the rest of the school year, rode the bus with me to Fordham Road to get on the Metro Road to go to work.
Your mom both ask with you every day.
No, it wasn't at school yet. And my dad was retired, so he could have done it. My dad could have also drove me to school.
Sure.
So, you know, so again, I love my father. I think he was a great dad and what he could do and his limitations. And I wish that he knew to do the work, but he was an old black man from South Carolina. But there was more he could have done that where it's like, I gotta know my partner is gonna step up. Because if you can drive our child to school, do that.
Yeah.
But you're concerned about a parking space. You know, so
that's real.
So I gotta see it to believe it.
That's real. Yeah. And I agree with that. I think that fatherhood, again, we're not fathers, but it looks different for everyone. Yeah. But I think that a common thread we both have is that we both had active fathers in the home that had, like, I'm sure, different limitations, different strengths. And like I was saying, like, I just love now that we have friends.
Yeah. I love saying it.
Who are fathers.
Shout out to the parents.
The parents,
y'all are truly doing God's work.
Yeah. It's a beautiful thing.
You should get a paycheck for it. Being a parent should come with a paycheck.
Maternity leave? Yeah. Paternity leave should be standard.
Because I can't imagine when I come home from work, I'm like, there's going to be people that
they want to eat. They want to cook.
Potentially a different meal?
Yeah.
But if that's what you want to do, sign up for it. God bless you, right?
Yeah. What do you think about, if you and I talk about this often, what do you think about maintaining your identity?
I think it's super important
during parenthood.
I think, in every area, you have to still want to be good to yourself.
Yeah.
And so I do think that parents need time away from their children or their spouse for yourself. And that should be, I think, more than getting your nails done and getting your hair done. I think that, or like, it should be like hanging out with friends, hanging out with your family, reading a book, going on a trip. I strongly believe in solo trips. I don't care if you have children. Somebody else will take care of the trips.
Yep. I agree with that, and it's one of my pet peeves, actually. I'm going to talk about women, because that's women whose entire identity is based around being a mother. Again, shout out to the mothers. Love it, of course. I just talked about how beautiful of a journey that is. But when I become a mother, y'all need to know I'm still going to be Alex. Of course things change and your priorities change and all of that. But, like, I'm going to still come out. Like, and that's why, like, I've chosen to do things the way that I'm doing them, is because it's important to me to still be myself. And I also feel like you're modeling for your child
Absolutely.
how to still take care of yourself. And
because you are important. If you're not good, if you're not taking care of yourself, it's that cliche, you can't pour from an empty cup.
Right.
You can't be a good mom if you're not a good you.
And you don't feel good. You don't feel like yourself. And again, I know that this is a whole journey of, like, your body changing, hormones changing, priorities changing, all of that. Like, I'm not discounting that, but I always, like, encourage and love when I see moms living full lives. And I know that resources are a big part of that, right? So whatever help you need to get, whatever supports from your community that you need to lean into, I'm all for it, because I really feel like you're at your best when you, like, have stepped away and then you step back in and you're able to play with your child because you feel like you've taken care of yourself and giving yourself.
You want to show up and you show up better.
Yeah.
Totally important.
And I don't want to talk about your kid the entire time at brunch, like, or when we're out for drinks. Like, fine, we'll do the kid check-in. Right? Love it. But then also, let's talk some shit. Because I like to talk shit.
Talk some adult shit.
Adult shit. I don't care.
I don't give a fuck. And Bluey is going on tour. I don't really know what Bluey is. And my friends don't like Tim. Is Bluey even a boy? I don't fucking know. Whatever.
But like, let's do that. We could do the little check-in. But then I want to talk to my friend.
Yeah.
I want to talk to you.
How are you?
Yeah. Let's laugh. Let's do, let's have some good conversation.
Well, I'm excited about this journey for you.
Thanks.
And, child, what if I meet somebody and want a baby and that baby? Oh my God,
it's funny, you talk, it can't out.
Because if I get the partner that I really want,
you don't have a baby.
Oh, that was the thing I wanted to tell you about church. Sorry. I'm not a baby. And it's okay to change your mind.
You're a woman and you have a right to change your mind.
Yeah. I think we have to be honest with ourselves and we have to not do something because society tells us to. Or feel like you're at a disadvantage or you're less than single people or non-parents are not less than married people who are parents. Like, you just have to remove that I am me and what I want to do and what I choose to do is that.
That's right. And being okay.
And stop asking people when they want to have babies. Sorry.
The fact that people still do that is so crazy to me. You have no idea what people are going through. Like, the amount of women that do that still is so, and it's usually like older people that still do that, and like how insensitive and rude it is to do that to women. So please, if you're somebody that does that, please stop doing it.
Yeah. And just because somebody has one baby doesn't mean they want another baby. Just because somebody gets married doesn't mean they want kids. So stop imposing your thoughts and views on other people.
Yeah. Leave the people alone. Mind your business. Mind your uterus.
Because look, if I find me a good doctor, I'm getting mine taken out. But that's a whole other story.
That's another episode, child. It's a whole other episode.
Final thoughts?
Whatever you choose, go ahead and stand fully in it. Know that you have support or seek out support in your community that is going to make you feel good and empowered in your decision.
Yes, I agree.
And that's all for today.
Yes, thank y'all for listening and watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. Share this video with somebody who you think might like it. And follow us on Instagram at Courageous Exchanges. At Courageous Exchanges. If you want to email us and engage in conversation, you can DM us. Or you can email us at courageousexchanges@gmail.com.
Remember to live a courageous and authentic life. Bye.